Hi, I'm Jen Matat here with Helmar, and it's Helmar Live. Tonight we are going to be making a cute little gift box that I made with Helmar product and Faber-Castell gelatos. So this is what the top looks like. And it's got a cute little tag that we'll do with Faber-Castell stuff. And then I'll make these little flowers, which are not new, but everybody has been making those. They're really cute with paper and a lot of decoupage and coloring over the decoupage. So we'll be using lots of scraps, and these are great little gift boxes. It's just a takeout box. You can use these. You can find them, I think, at restaurant supply stores. But I also found a bunch at Michael's recently, and these are the real takeout boxes that you buy for, Chinese food takeout boxes. But I found some at Michael's that I just bought, and they were pretty cheap. So, and then we'll just make a few little embellishments to go on it. So, and I love the colors. If you pick colors that are complementary to each other, it really makes it a striking project. It jumps out and really makes the packaging as nice as the gift inside, whatever you decide to give. So I'll walk you through how to do this. It's really easy. This will be great for Mother's Day and birthdays and Christmas time. Anytime you can adjust the colors that you use. Okay, so I'm gonna pan down onto my work table and show you what I've got here. Okay, so hopefully my camera will adjust its stuff. Its focus. I don't know. There we go. I think it is. Okay, so this is the decoupage and craft paste that I'm going to be using to adhere all the papers and things to the box. And this is the takeout box that I started with. So here's what it looks like. All put together and done. I'm Jen Matat tonight, Leslie Ray, and we're making a little box. If you didn't see it, here it is. Our little takeout box, altered takeout box for a little thank you. This one says, thanks so much. I made these and put homemade cookies in them for gifts as a thank you gift at the end of the year for my custodians because they do so much for me at school. So I'm making that, and this is what I start with. All right, so what I do is I'm going to take apart the box and have it lay flat so that it's easier to work with, because it'd be really difficult to do it on here. So what I do is I just take a needle nose pliers, and there's a little metal handle, the little thing right here, and on the inside you can see it just kind of hooks into a hole here. So I'm just going to pry that open a little bit and pop that out. Okay, so they come out pretty easily. Yep, disassemble, that's the word I'm looking for. Disassembling the box. And it's just a matter of getting it down in there, the needle nose pliers, and just pulling it open a little. So here's what it looks like when I take it apart. I just straightened out these little parts that go back in, but don't lose this because you'll need it when you put it back together again later. So basically, the flaps fold out like this on either side. So you want to remember that when you put it back together. And then you're going to lay it flat on here. Now the ones that I found in Michael's are really nice because they're not coated with the wax, like a waxy surface like this one is. This is like a real takeout box, so they want it waxy so that the food doesn't stick to it. So this is going to be the outside, and I'm going to do both the outside and the inside of the box. And I already have one all done and dry for you, so at the end I can show you how it looks all put together. But what you want to do before you start, if you have the kind with the wax on it, is you want to get a sanding block. Like this one is just a 3M. I got it at the hardware store. It's a fine grit, but you could use, I know that Tim Holtz has one, and I don't know, probably other companies sell them, but this is a cheap one at the hardware store. I go through them pretty quickly, so I don't buy the expensive, ones that you use on paper. But this, I'm just going to sand off some of the shine, because I want everything to adhere really well. And the decoupage glue will probably adhere over pretty slick surfaces, but I just kind of give it a little tooth by sanding it. Just helps everything to stick a little better. And that takes forever to dry. So I'm just sanding a little bit off the shiny surface. Okay. And I'm going to do that for the front and the back. And I'm making a big mess already. Alright, so it's a little less shiny. It has a little bit more of a grit to it. You want, oh, I think I need a wipe. I'll grab a wipe. I always have my baby wipes handy just to wipe off any surface because I make a big mess. So baby wipes, yeah. Take a couple out. Alright, wipe that surface down. I tried to be a little green, and buy reusable, washcloths and stuff to use, and then just wash them, but I never wash them. And then I get glue on them, and then it's never coming out, so forget it. That's what I say. Just baby wipes, that's what I use. And now, of course, it's wet. Okay. So, we're going to start by decoupaging different things on there. I don't know what we did with without baby wipes. Oh, probably went through a lot of paper towels. That's for sure. So baby wipes are cheap now. I just go get a bunch. Okay, so here are some of the papers that I'm going to use. These are scraps and things that I've collected, and I like to use whatever I have on hand. Things that are left over from other projects. Tissue paper. This one was a tissue paper, I think I got this at Michael's for decoupaging. But you can use tissue paper left over from Christmas or birthday wrappings, different colors if you want, or prints. So that's left over. I have sheet music. My music teacher at school gets rid of sheet music every once in a while. She goes through her closet and gets rid of old stuff, and I got a whole bunch of these, so I've got lots of sheet music. There's different ones. These are scraps from another project. I have book pages. These are from books really old books that I bought at a garage sale to disassemble and use. Yeah, I'm upcycling all this stuff. And then, of course, patterns. I buy these at garage sales too. Just sewing patterns because I like using the paper. Okay, you could use maps. What else? Maps. Anything that you have. Any papers. Something a little thinner is probably better for something that's going to fold up like this. You don't want anything too thick because you have these fold lines you don't want to cover up. So if you're going to use the thick stuff, you want to use it just in small pieces on the flat surface that's not going to be affected by the folding. All right, so for the decoupage paste, old brochures and maps. I could definitely use some more maps. I am running out of maps. I go through them pretty quickly and then I can't find them. So I had to break down and buy some at Staples and the, like the map, driving atlases and stuff, because I was running out. So that would be really awesome. Okay, so I just take a foam brush that I buy in bulk. You know, you can find them at AC Moore for like 10 for $1. Oh, Leslie, that would be awesome. Travel agent. You collect all that stuff and probably just throw it right out when it's all done. I'd love some. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to brush some over an area, and then I'm just going to rip papers and stick them on. So it really is not a science here. Just pick things that you want and just stick them on, and then I'm going to put a coating over it when I'm all done. So I just rip them randomly and kind of layer them. And if it doesn't stick, just add a little more. Maybe I missed that spot. And then I'm just going to put some over top of it to give it a good coating. This stuff is awesome. It dries pretty fast. I would say that that the decoupage paste probably is the best stuff. I was using you know, matte medium, but that takes a long time to dry, and I just am not good at waiting. Very impatient, so you know, I just don't want to wait for it to dry, even though it's pretty cool stuff. I put stuff on the bottom too, but think about how this is going to be assembled, because you may have pieces like this is going to be upright when it's assembled, so I want to make sure that I'm putting my papers the right way, that they'll be, if it's important to have them read in a certain way. So just think about that. It's just something to think about, because it's not going to stay flat. It's going to be upright when we get it all put together. All right, show the product again. I'll show you what the finished product looks like. So you can really see, I don't know if I used any maps on this one. I didn't. I used pieces from some sort of financial book that was written in a different language. Music paper. Oh, this is just lined paper. Scrap stuff. I didn't even use any tissue paper on this one. I don't think. That's the old one. And then, so I'm just going to keep kind of covering. You don't need to cover the whole surface, because you're going to add some color to the surface too, so you can fill in what you don't add. All right, so some of this paper rips pretty easily because it's so old. Like this book paper is so old. That it just rips really easily. So I just keep adding, brushing, adding over top of it. I can layer them. Like, oh, I'm going to use some of this stuff. This is really fun. I like the pattern. So let's use that. Maybe over here. And they can cross over into the other sections. So, because it's all going to be, you know, 3D, it's going to be seen all around. So it's okay. Just, you know, if you want it to be read a certain way, you want to make sure you do that a certain direction. Kind of have to think 3D a little bit. So, like, I don't want to put something upside down. Unless it doesn't matter. I am going to cover some of it, so it's okay. I like this. Some of this, you know, I like the color, like the craft kind of color of the pattern paper. The dressmaking patterns are especially fun to use, because even when you put the color over it, you're going to see some of that craft color. Oops. Didn't quite put enough sticky there. And if it wrinkles, that's okay too. It catches some of the color when we get to the color part. So you could pick colored papers that you like and want to incorporate. Maybe you want a theme to your project, you know, like for Christmas or for a birthday theme. So maybe you pick, you know, pieces of wrapping paper or whatever to incorporate in your little gift box. Or maybe you're just using this to store things in. because these would make cool little storage boxes too. I like making a bunch of them ahead of time and then using them, you know, as gifts for people. Then I don't have to really go get a gift bag for small little gift items. These, I think people like handmade stuff better, so it's much more fun. And so, like, you could put homemade cookies and all sorts of stuff in here. Candies, jewelry. All right, and this stuff is so, it makes everything lay really flat. Sometimes, you know, things bubble up, and I'm looking at, like, this stuff is really, I don't really have to touch it up. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that they sent that out in little takeout boxes. I think they're fun. I gave a bunch away this Christmas. I thought they were cute, and people love them. They keep them, because, I mean, how can you throw something like this out? It's just too cute. Could use it, reuse it. Alrighty. So I'm just randomly adding some text from here. I got history and English words. That's fun. I'll use that for something. Where am I going to put that? How about right here? History and English words. I don't know what book that came out of. I buy all these books at like garage sales. I love garage sales in the spring. And then I find enough to last me the whole winter, and I have to go replenish in the spring again. Never a shortage of old books. Textbooks. All that stuff. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Oh, you got censored. I don't know what you were saying. It got you censored, but it's funny. You weren't even saying anything naughty. It's weird. Ustream, I think they just choose to censor certain words. I don't know. That happened in Primo too. We were laughing about that. Somebody got censored and we were wondering what they were saying. That was so naughty. Oh, really? A die. Ooh, I could use a die. That would be awesome. I wonder where you'd get that. To make little takeout boxes. I wouldn't have to buy them. I could just make my own all the time. Alright, I think I'm almost done here. And then what I did is I kind of let this dry a little bit, and I flipped it over and did the other side. So, but I'm not going to do both sides right now because that would take a long time. And we've only got 30 more minutes about. And I want to do the color part. So I am going to just give this a blast real quick with the heat gun. Just to, oh, AccuCut. I'll have to look that up. Just so I can dry it a little bit before I do the color part. I'm hoping I have water in there. Okay, so I'm going to make a little bit of a noise here. Oh, you know, yeah, that's good. It's still a little tacky. And you can dry it with the heat gun. You just have to be careful not to hover in one spot too long that it bubbles. Any kind of adhesive will do that, or medium. So All right, just about done. Yeah, see, it dries so fast. That didn't take long. Okay, especially with the heat gun, because I don't like to wait, like I told you. Okay, there's a couple things before I'm going to let this, I'm just going to put, no, I'm going to color this first and then I'm going to put it aside. I'm going to put this aside first. Sorry, I'm changing my mind. Put that aside for just a second. Now, you can punch circles out of any paper you want to create the flowers. I'll show you the flowers again. Here's the flowers. Okay, but what I did is I created these flowers with watercolor paper because it's a little thicker. Or you could use, any kind of thicker paper to color on. Maybe cardstock would work too. Okay. So this is a pretty thick piece of watercolor paper. I get a big pad of this. And it has a little bit of a texture on it. I don't know if you could see it on here. You could see the little bit of a grit. And I'm going to color this, and then I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to punch circles from it. So I'm going to make my box with different tones of purples and blues for this project. So I think I'm going to pick, because if you know your color wheel, blues and purples, the opposite of them would be orange and yellow. So I'm going to do different oranges and yellows on here, and I'm picking my gelatos. Okay, so here's the gelatos from Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft, and I'm using butterscotch, lemon, mango, and tangerine. Oops, not focusing. There we go. So these would, yes, your complementary colors. Oh, who am I? You know it. You know your stuff. I might even use a little bit of pink in mine too, and I think I'm going to use the metallic. This is metallic melon, and it has a shimmer to it. So that's what I'm going to use for these. Now you could use your sprays. You could use the metallic sprays or whatever, or make your own sprays from, Faber-Castell. I make my own sprays in the mini mister. So I have that. So I could use that on top. So maybe I'll do that after. You could also use all metallic if you want to have gold, all sorts of stuff. Now, what I do is I'm just going to randomly color on the paper. I just want to apply color. And I don't need to fill the whole thing because I'm going to go over it with water and spread it. So I'm just using it in random places. This is the fun part. You just get to play. Okay, I'm going to put some of the metallic down. A little goes a long way. My gelatos last a long time because I use them a lot, but I don't use them, I don't use them excessively on any one project because they really blend and spread around really nicely. So you don't have to cover every square inch. So you can see this kind of looks like a mess right now. Trying to watch in the car. Well, I hope you're not driving, Cheryl. Jeez. I don't want you to get in an accident because of me. You shouldn't be watching and driving anyway. Okay, so then I'm just going to use a water sprayer. I get these sprayers. This is a travel one from like Target. And a big brush to spread around. So I have my soft bristle brush. I'm just going to saturate my paper and spread the color around. And if it looks like any one area needs more, I can go right in while it's wet and add more. I don't have to wait for it to dry because it's just water soluble, so it's no big deal. You can add more. And I like this random choosings of colors here. So I'm going to color the whole paper. I'm going to cover it all up. And you can mix your own colors, like I'm mixing some here with the oranges. Oh, hubby is driving. Oh, that's good. Where are you going? They are fun. I love gelatos. They're so much fun. I wish I was going to CHA right now. I know they're going to have a lot of fun there playing with them, and there's some new colors they're introducing. I haven't even gotten them yet. They're brand new. They're also introducing tubs of gesso and gel mediums to make textures with and use with your gelatos. So I'm so excited about that because we have only had the little ones from the tool pack or the texture accents, and now we're going to have the big bottles of it, like tubs, like the decoupage kind of tub. So I'm pretty happy. That makes me very happy. And some new tools. Where are you flying to? Oh, you're going to CHA. That's where you are right now. See? So jealous. I really wish I was going. Someday I'll make it out to Cali. Someday. Unfortunately, I have to teach. I have to work. Uh-oh, my little guy's coming down to say goodnight. Alright, I think I need a little more color in some spots. So you can see it could just go right on there. Maybe more yellow over here. I want this nice and bright. Because when it dries, it does dry a little bit lighter, but not much. The nice thing about gelatos is they do not diminish in their color unless you tone them down, with a white or something. So, more metallic. Yeah, stop by the Faber-Castell booth and tell them that Jen misses them. I will miss them. I was there in Chicago with them, but I wish I was there this week. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Now, if you wanted to, when this dries, you could flip it over and do it on the other side. Since your flowers are kind of three-dimensional, I'm going to see both sides of the flower, when I make it up. So I want both sides to be complete. And I also stamped on top, too. So here's what it looks like on one side right now. Look, maybe they'll give it to you. Or Riot. I never thought of that. That's a good idea. They probably think you're crazy, but everybody there is a little crazy. Right? Oh, you have a card in their booth? Yay! I have a layout and a couple things in there. No, I haven't seen anybody else. Okay, so I'm going to quick dry this on one side and do the other. I'll come after. All right, and so you could use, maybe I'll do a mist for this. I have the sequin waste. I could do something with that. Mist over it. I made some blackish colored mists or darker color ones with the gelatos. So I could just give it a little spritz. Ooh, I like that. Alright. See that? That's fun. How do I make it? Well, I do have a tutorial on the Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft blog. So if you go on the blog and you click on the product gelatos sidebar, it will take you to all the tutorials for gelatos. And then I have one on there. I think it might be on my blog too. It's real easy and fun because you can make your own colors. So if we had time, I would show you. If we have time at the end, maybe I'll show you if we can. Otherwise, I'll find the link for you. Okay? So I'm going to set that aside. I would do both sides, but I'm not going to take the time to do that right this minute. I already did one and already cut out circles. But I am going to color this now. So I did the warm colors on the flowers, and then I'm going to do kind of cooler colors for this. So I'm going to use the metallic grape, the regular grape, this is just the regular grape gelato, the blueberry, and boysenberry. So I'm going to do blues and purples. Maybe I'll use a little bit of the lavender too. So I'll start with the lightest first. Okay, and all I'm doing is just coloring just like I did there. The only thing on this is I wouldn't saturate it too much. Okay, you can add water, but don't spread and keep spreading because you will loosen, you know, some of the papers and it'll kind of get all mushy. So I just kind of color and then spread with a brush. So I don't spray it. I'm not going to spray this one. But the decoupage paste has dried and it's really nice, a nice surface to color on. It's kind of a matte surface, so it's really great for coloring on top of. Okay, this is the metallic grape, so it's a little shimmery. I'll hold it up for you in a minute. Let me just get some. And I'm going to allow some of this to drip with the darker colors, but right now I'm just applying some of the basic colors on here. Trying to get a little bit of each around so that when I spread it, it hits all the colors. Okay. Then I'll do the boysenberry and the grape for drips. Alright, so I've got my cup of water. This is my mason jar, water jar. It's kind of dirty right now. I like the inside is kind of funny. All pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to spread this a little bit and color over the white areas. And you can add as little or as much as you want. You want to be careful you don't add too much water because you just don't want to rub away all your papers and stuff. Even though it has a nice coating of the decoupage paste, it could, I didn't let it dry overnight, so it could be a little wet in places. The kids are going to bed. I don't know if you hear them. They're getting in the bath. Alright, this doesn't look like much right now, but it will. Now you could also just spray mist on here, you know, just to give a little color and shimmer. That would be pretty too. That would be very easy to do. I like to make my own areas of color, so I kind of do this. Oh, well, thank you. My boots. I used Helmar glue for that too. Some of them, some parts of it. Maybe that'll be a spring Ustream. I can make that for you. Alright, so I'm just spreading my color, giving a little color to all the papers. I gotta update my blog actually. There's never enough hours in the day. I have a lot of things to post on there and I gotta have time to do that. Maybe tonight when the kids are in bed. Maybe I'll do some blog updating. They would stick even if I didn't sand, but when I add water, they may bubble up a little bit. Not because of non-adhering, but it's because of the water element. So because I sanded, everything is just kind of laying a little better and sticking a little better. Like I'm brushing and it's not bubbling up. It's sticking. So the gelatos, if you left them dry on there, would totally stick fine. But because I'm adding water, it's better when you sand it. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's a little slick. Yeah. So the water-based stuff would kind of slide around on it. It may not stick. It may just be bubbly. All right, so I kind of just colored. It's kind of messy right now, but when it dries, it'll look better. See, like this part right here, I don't know if you can see it. I must have not sanded that area as well, and it's bubbling a little bit on the edge. So. Ah, my little guy's saying goodnight. You want to come give me a kiss real quick? Okay, quickly. Oh, I'm drying. Quickly.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, give me kisses. No.
Night
Night.
Not steaming.
Huh?
What are you making?
I'm making a box.
A box?
Uh-huh.
Like that?
Like that, yeah. All right, you gotta go.
It's been a cushion?
Yeah. Night night.
You a random?
Yeah. It's night time around here. All right, it's drying pretty well. I'm just drying it a little before I do the next step. I want to see what I have with the color. If I need to add some more. It's looking a little streaky right now, but that's okay. Because when I put it all together, it's going to even out a little bit. You know, you won't see it all at once. So I think I need to add just a little bit more color in some spots. And you kind of will have to just eyeball, you know, what you think you need more of. I love that I can keep adding more and more and brighten the colors with the gelatos. They're so awesome. And the glue is handling this very nicely. Totally is not bubbling up or anything. It's awesome. A lot of glues would do that. Would just pucker and fall apart. So I'm just adding a pretty heavy coat of the darker colors up at the top of each of the sections. And then I'm going to add water and let them drip. So I'm going to create some drippage. That's what I call it, drippage. Just a little of this color at the top. And I'm not even doing it everywhere, just some. Mixing them. I like when I mix the colors in it. You can create your own version of a color. I love that. This grape. Oh, I'm not usually a purple fan, but this grape is a good purple. It's very rich. Okay, so I did some darks in each of the sections. Okay, let me get all this out of here. Move it out of the way. Okay, so here's what I do. This is my drippage technique. It's all right, Cheryl. I get it. You know, you're out there without me. Have fun. Oh. All right, so I'm just adding some water. Oops, it's kind of off screen. I'm gonna have to tilt this up a little. Adding a little water and letting it drip down. And kind of help it along the way here. Yeah. And then you could always blast it with the heat gun before you do the next section so you don't ruin what you did. And it also helps it move a little better. That impatient factor. I can never wait. Good luck, Cheryl. Have fun. Take pictures. I have stuff in the Prima booth too. Okay, so I'm going to let that drip on each section and just kind of keep working my way around. Until it's all done. And I'll just do this. Now I've finished one for you, so this looks pretty cool, but I did one already that's already done. Now, this paper I'm going to punch into several different size circles. So I made a couple big circles and a couple of the smaller, medium-sized circles, and then a couple little circles. So I just used a punch, or you can use a die cutter if you have a circle die cutter. And I'm going to make the rosettes with that. Okay. So I'm going to put this one aside because that's still a little damp. And here we're going to work with these for right now. So we're going to be embellishing. Now what I did, pardon my stuffy nose, is this box I've already assembled back together. And what you do is you just take, everything's already folded, you fold it back up, and then you put your handle back in to hold it all together. So I use my needle nose pliers again to bend it back into place. There's the handles all together. So this is one I did the other night with different papers. And I did blues and greens. I did greens inside. You can see the greens. Alright, so that's all done. I'm going to now embellish it. Okay, so I've already done one little rosette here on there. And I'll do my other ones. So here's the easiest way. You probably already know how to do this, but for anybody that's watching that doesn't, I just make a circle. I just punched out a circle, and now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to create a spiral. So I just kind of cut it in a spiral. Some die cut, I have like a die cut cartridge, I think, that from Cricut that already cuts these for you, and all you have to do is roll them up. So it's pretty, you can't get easier than that. Alright, and then I'm going to use the 450 quick dry adhesive to glue them together. That's my favorite adhesive. Okay, so this, you start with the tip. I'll try to hold this up so you can see better. And I'm going to start curling it and rolling on the tip there. Okay? So you try to get it as tight as you can, but this is hard to do when I'm trying to show you in the camera. So I'm just rolling it. So that's why I did both sides colored, because you're going to see both the inside and the outside of the flower. So you could do two different colors if you wanted. So I'm just rolling it. So I'm holding it like this and rolling until I get to the middle. And you can loosen it by letting go a little bit. So when I get it all rolled, I kind of just let it unroll just a little bit to make it fuller. Okay, so when you cut it, you leave the middle a little bit thicker, you know, a thicker circle right here. This is where I'm going to put the glue, right there. Okay, I find it better to start on the outside, yes, the point, and then roll in to the middle. To me, that's easiest. I don't know if other people do it differently, but I didn't, oh, I gotta grab the one that's open, duh. Sorry. And then I can adjust it by loosening. So I'm going to make a big glob of the 450. And I'm just going to hold this part in the middle in the 450 glue and let it kind of sit and stick there. It doesn't take long. It does dry pretty fast. I used to use hot glue and then I burned my fingers like a million times. So this is much easier and much better, I think. This stuff doesn't come off. Cheryl's going to be talking about all the different ways you can use 450 in everyday life. We all have used ours in so many different ways. Alright, so that's pretty, oh, it's still sticky. So I'm going to do that for in about 10 minutes. My other son's talking to me. So I'm going to glue these. Once these are glued, I'm going to just arrange them on here. Now I also made, and I don't have with me right now, I forgot to get some canvas out, but I just had scraps of canvas that I colored with the gelatos, and then I used the 450 and I glued those on too. So you can make little leaves, but you could use already pre-made leaves if you want. These are just the canvas scraps that I had from something. And I cut them into leaf shapes and glued them on. Okay, and then I just attached a tag with twine, some twine, and I'll show you that in a minute too. Oops, got brushes and stuff. So I'm gonna glue, oop, I got glue boogers, glue snot, and just arrange these in groupings like that. So pretty. I could do another one. So once again, we'll roll it. They are cute. I love these little rosette. I find myself doing these a lot. Although I think I like my hand cut ones better than the Cricut ones. I know that's sacrilegious to say, but I think those are just a little too perfect. I don't know. I kind of like the wonky handmade look of them from this method. I just find them way too even, and they're not as thick. They're a little too squat, little. So shape. Oh, I've done that with shape scissors, like wavy cut ones. Yeah, they're fun because then you get a little bit of a different edge. I bet you like pinking shears would be really cute on these. All right, so I'm just doing that again with the 450 glob. You could also bend, you know, the edges a little bit and make them a little roughed up, distress them a bit. So you saw how fast that holds. It does hold really fast. And it's already, it's already on there and drying. I mean, the petals are stuck. So that's quick. But this, I love the different, the contrast between the complementary colors and the artsy drippings and stuff. Collage material. This was the first one I made, and as you can see, I still have it. I haven't given it away as a gift. I like my first one best, I think. Although I think I'm getting better as I go. Uh-oh. Got rumblings upstairs. Bedtime fighting. All right, now for the tag, I just take a shipping tag. Oops. Get that out of the way. And I'm just gonna stamp on it. But you could color your tag too with the gelatos, and have a nice color background before you stamp, which is really a cool idea too. Oops. And I'm going to use, actually maybe I'll use a color marker. I'll do purple and black, or purple and gray. We'll do the gray and the purple. So I'm going to use the gray for the frame, and I'm using the Faber-Castell Pitt big brush, Stampers Big Brush pens. I love these because I can really adjust how and where I put the colors. Can't do that with a stamp pad. The ink stays wet for a little while. It's not, depends on how dry your house is, I guess. Mine's pretty dry, so it might not be juicy for very long. So this says thank you, and I'm going to stamp that on my tag. So there, oop, can you see? Come on, camera. There we go. Thank you. So there's my little thank you tag, and that's going to go on with, I just take the string that comes with it off, but you could use it to adhere it. And then I'm going to use this twine to tie it on. So I put the twine through the tag and loop it to hold it on there. And then I'm just going to tie it around the handle. So you could put a little gifty in there and tie it. A little thank you or a sentiment on your tag. Like that. And add some leaves on here with my things. You could do some bling on there, little swirls or something glued on. And there you go. A wad of cash, yeah, for college. A college student might like that. Yeah. All right. Any questions about any of that? And if you place an order on the Helmar site, you'll get a percentage off. I think it's 10%, 20%. I don't remember. Cheryl, she'll be able to tell you. Thanks, Leslie. All right. So that is pretty simple, and all you do is take a takeout box and you can embellish it with color and collage, and then you've got yourself a nice little gift box. All right. Well, that is it for tonight. And I will be back next month with another project for you. And hopefully you will be able to join us. And if you want to view this again, it'll be right here on the Helmar Live site. It's pre-recorded, or it's recorded now, so it'll be pre-recorded when you watch it later. Thanks, Ton. All right, ladies, I'm going to head out and say goodnight to my kids. All right. I'll talk to you later.